Hey there, Tonic friends, it's Marie here again for Tonic Studios, of course, and I get to share the Tonic Stamp Club with you again. Okay, so it's getting really hot here in the desert, which is perfect for this next Stamp Club theme with all the summery vibes. So I'm going to give you a look at the stamps and the dies that are in this month's Stamp Club, and we're going to make something. So let's take a look. So here is this month's stamp set. It's really fun. It's got this tropical vibe, which is perfect for the upcoming summer months. It's getting really hot here in the desert. And I'm just going to go through all of these images, show you what they look like, and you can see all of the fun sentiments included in this kit as well. What I like to do when I get my stamps is I like to stamp them all out and color them in so that I can get an idea of what all of these images are going to look like once I've got them stamped and colored and cut out. Also, with the stamps comes the coordinating dies. So I just went ahead and colored all of these with some alcohol markers, and then I cut them out with the coordinating dies. And I'll show you the die set here in a minute as well. I just want to get all of these little images set out here for you so you can see what they look like in color. I think these are all super fun, super bright and summery, and we're gonna have fun making a few cards with these. So you've got some of these really fun tropical drinks. So I colored them here. It looks like they're in a coconut and little straws and flowers and umbrellas here. You've got this little tropical drink, which is also really fun. I colored yellow on top, blue on bottom, and blended them in a little bit on the middle. So we've got some green in the middle there. Looks like a really bright and colorful tropical drink for you. All right, they've also got some of these leaves here, and this one I colored as a leaf, but you could honestly color that as a feather too, if you wanted to color it pink to make it look like one of those pink flamingos. I think that would look good as a feather as well. Maybe it is a feather, who knows? I colored it as a leaf. You've got lots of little flowers here, and you've got some bamboo rods that you can do some fun things with. So here is the stamp set all colored for you, all cut out. You get to see what they all look like. It also comes with some sentiments that coordinate, and they're really fun and punny, and I really love how they mix up the fonts in these stamp sets so that you can kind of mix and match and build your own sentiment. So we have stand out from the crowd. You could do make today Flamazing. Get it? I think that was really fun. You could do stay fabulous, fun, and Flamazing. Every day with you is Flamazing. I feel like we're just going to have to put Flamazing on our cards. You could put do it paradise. Every day with you is paradise. You could do that. Your paradise, your fabulous. If anyone can, two can. That's another fun one. There's also let's flamingo wild. There's aloha and let the good times roll. So lots of fun images and sentiments in this month's stamp set. You also have the coordinating die set where you've got all of the coordinating dies that go with the stamps. You can stamp, color, cut them out. They're ready to slap on a card or a project. But Tonic also gives you some of these standalone dies. So they've got these palm trees here, they've got this here, and they have the waves. So I did go ahead and cut out some of those palm trees. I'll let you see here. I just cut these out of plain white cardstock, and then I went ahead and I ink blended them with several different colors to give them that sort of airbrushed finished look. Here's some of those leaves. I think they're really fun. I used some yellows, bright greens, and some greenish blues on these and kind of mixed those colors together. And you also get these little coconuts, which I think are really fun. I blended them with some lighter and some darker browns and got a little bit of variation of color there. So you can really build a really fun tropical scene with all of these stamps and dies. I haven't done this wave die yet, but maybe we should try that in our video. So let's go ahead and take all these images and make a card. I have my card base here, and I've got my little dish of all my cutouts that I have already prepped. I like to just kind of stamp them, cut them out, put them in a dish so that I have them on hand when I'm ready to use them. So I'll show you here what I did. I took that wave die and I cut it out a few times out of vellum, and that die has a few different ways that you can cut it out to make these waves. So it's got, let me just show you here. I have them kind of taped together so that you can kind of see how they lay together. It's got this outside piece that if you run this through your die machine, you get this piece here. So it's just going to cut out the waves. And it doesn't cut out the bottom, so you can cut it on the bottom of your paper if you want, or if you want to cut out a wave completely, you just run it through your die cutting machine and then take your straight edge or guillotine trimmer and trim off the bottom, and then you're left with this little shape. Now, if you want, you can cut that out and then also use this piece because it cuts out these little pieces here. And then you have a wave that has these little openings, and you can layer them together if you want to use several different colors of cardstock. Or what I did is I used some vellum with these so that it's a little bit see-through and I can kind of build a scene behind it. Now, one thing I want to try to do is take some of my Nuvo hybrid inks, and I'm going to take some of my ink blending tools, and I'm going to just try to pounce on a little bit of color on the back of these vellum waves. So I'm taking this color, it's called Laguna Bay. Let's see if I can just blend a little bit on here. And so I'm getting a wave that has a little bit of color on it, but you can still kind of see through. And I'm putting it on the back side. And let's see what it looks like when you flip it over. So you get a really soft color on the back. Maybe you can see that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. And I'm going to just put a little bit of color on the back side. Now, vellum is typically a little bit more delicate than cardstock. It can tear a little bit easier. So make sure you're kind of gentle if you're going to try this. And we just added a little bit of fun color to our waves. All right, so both of my waves are kind of going in different directions. So you could stack them like this if you wanted to. I'm actually going to stagger them a little bit like this on my card. I'll show you what that looks like. But I do want to kind of build a scene behind it as well. I haven't quite figured out everything I want to do, but I might put a little bit of blue color on the bottom here. I'm going to add my palm trees, maybe some little flamingos. And it's fun when you layer those waves together because you can kind of put different elements in the different wave layers and make it look a little dimensional. But I think before I start gluing anything down, I'm going to take some more of this Laguna Bay and just gently blend some on the bottom. I don't need a whole lot, just a little bit of color that will kind of show up behind those waves. There we go. Then I can go ahead and layer these pieces on. I think that looks really fun. Got some of that blue-green ocean waves going on there. So to stick those down, I'm going to grab some of my Nuvo liquid glue. And you don't need a whole lot on vellum because vellum is a little bit transparent. You're going to see through it a little bit. So in order to not have a lot of glue kind of shining through, I just put some little dots here and there. And I'm going to just kind of glue it down just a little bit. Vellum also tends to want to curl up when you put too much liquid or moisture on it. And it can do that a little bit if you put too much glue on it. So you really don't need a lot. Just a few little drops is fine. All right, and I'm just going to layer this piece down here a little bit, making it look like some layered waves. And I'm not worried about the bottom, peeking out a little bit. You could put another layer of waves there if you want. I might actually trim this down to be a little bit smaller than my A2 size card so that when I put it on a card base, I have some nice matting around the side. So I might actually trim it down a little bit. So I'm not going to worry too much yet. But I can also start layering on some of my other scenery pieces. I'm not going to use too much foam adhesive yet. And if you do want to use foam adhesive, you probably want to stamp your sentiment first because it's harder to stamp your sentiment once you have a lot of foam pieces on. I might use a little foam piece here for my palm tree because that might be kind of fun to have that popped up. Gonna add a flamingo under my palm tree. So I might go ahead and stamp a sentiment right here in the middle. Before I do that, I think I want to add a little bit of sunshine in the sky, make it look like a shiny, bright, summery day. So I don't want to get too far with this before I put some more color on. It's always a good idea to put your color on before you start gluing down all of your other pieces, but since I don't really know where I'm going with this, I'm just making it up as we go. So just gonna go with the flow here. Okay. So I want it to look like sort of a goldenish sunset tropical sky. So I'm going to go with amber ochre, which isn't quite as bright as the rubber duck. But let me take a scrap paper first. I kind of like that. It's like a golden yellow. Not as bright. And I'm just going to gently blend that on as well. Don't mind if it's darker here on the edges, but I do want it to kind of softly blend out into the white background. Kind of lift up those waves a little bit. This is like when you're in kindergarten and you draw the sun in the sky and you do that half circle up in the corner and that's your sun. Same thing, only I'm doing it with the ink, just blending it on there. You can still use all of those kindergarten techniques in your card making. Okay, so I've got amber ochre on. I think that's going to look really fun once I put all the other things on. And then I want to get another color in there to make it look like a really pretty sunset sky. So there's a few other colors that we could use. There's Panama Rose, which is kind of pink, which would be fun. I could do Carrot Stick, which is an orange, or Peach Bloom. I think I'm going to try this Panama Rose. And again, I'm going to try it on my scrap paper. See what it looks like. Okay, so it's pink, but when it blends with that yellow, it gives it like a pinky orange. And I think that's going to look really fun. So again, I'm coming from this corner. I'm going to start blending that color in up here. Let it sort of blend out into that yellow. Make sure it looks kind of soft, and that looks good. I don't think I need to do too much more than that. All right, so our scene's coming together. Like I said, before I start putting some foam adhesive on here, I do want to add some sentiments. So I'm going to grab a stamp block. This one might work. And grab some black ink here. And let's pick out a sentiment. So there are all kinds of fun sentiments in this set. Flamazing, fabulous. Let's flamingo wild, stand out from the crowd. Oh, let's see. I'm just going to kind of lay out where I think I want some things to go so I can figure out where I want my sentiment to go and how I want it to look. I think I want to put it just about here. I'm going to go with Flamazing, I think. And then I'm going to put every day with you is Flamazing. I think I'll do that one. Okay. Flamazing. All right. So I'm using some of my black hybrid ink. And when I'm starting to stamp a new stamp, I like to kind of stamp it off a few times on some scrap paper because that kind of primes your stamp. And you're getting some ink on there. It's holding more ink. So stamp it off a few times before you take it to your paper. You might actually really see a big difference if you do that. Okay. So let me put this just about here. Try to make sure it's kind of straight. But even if it's not, it's okay. It's a handmade card. Flamazing! And it looks flamazing. Okay. So then we want to do the next part of our sentiment, which I was going to do every day with you, is... No, you know what? I think I'm just going to do your Flamazing. I think that's cute. So again, I'm going to stamp this off a few times on my scratch paper. Get that going. Prime that stamp. Okay, and then we're going to stamp that right here. Your Flamazing. I think that looks really fun. And I really like the tropical vibes on the, I like that tropical vibe on this month's stamp club thingy. Okay. Let's grab some, if I can get up and grab it. Grab some foam squares. I've got some of my Craft Perfect foam squares here so that I can pop up that palm tree. Excuse me. All right, I'm gonna put some foam on this, give it a little bit of dimension. And it's gonna go about here. But before I do that, I am gonna trim this down a little bit. It's gonna be easier to trim it now than later once I start popping some stuff up on foam adhesive. So what I like to do to make sure that I keep it all sort of centered is I like to take about 1/4 of an inch off. So I do 1/8 of an inch off of each side, and that keeps it centered. But it's also easier if you go ahead and trim it before you start building your scene. But as I'm sure you guys have figured out by now, I like to do things a little bit backwards. I don't do things in the order they probably should be done. Oh well. Crafting is kind of about just making it up as you go, right? So we've got that. I want to grab a card base. I've got one here already. So I know what that's going to look like when I adhere it down. Got some of that matting border now. It gives it a little matte look. And I can go ahead and lay out. That's not the one I wanted. This one has All right, I can lay out where I want things to go. And I'm okay with this kind of sticking off the side a little bit. I think that's really kind of fun that it goes off the page a little bit. And it's fine if you want to mail cards that have some of the elements sort of hanging off the side. When I have cards that I'm mailing that do that, I typically put them in a slightly larger envelope than what they need. Otherwise, if you're just going to hand it to somebody, that's not going to be a problem. So no worries. Getting a little bit of echo there on my mic. Okay, I'm also going to put a few coconuts onto my palm tree. So, gonna use my little pickup tool, if it will pick it up. There we go. There's one. And two. I think those look really cute. You could even put one floating out here in the water, and I think I'm gonna do that. Just gonna tuck it in right in the waves. So I'm just gonna put a little dot of glue right behind there. That's looking cute. All right. And here's my little flamingo that I wanted to tuck right in here. I want to tuck him behind those branches, I think. He is living his best life in the ocean on this tropical island. He's just under the shade, having fun. Kind of making a little bit of a mess with the glue. That's okay. I'm just going to wipe that up. You're Flamazing. That's so cute. All right. Now I just have to figure out if that's all I want to do. I do think that looks pretty good. So the next thing that you can do when you're ready to put it on your card base is roll over here again. Grab some bigger foam squares. And use those on the back of your card. Peel off the backing paper, and I know I've said it before, but it's still true. I love that this foam adhesive, the backing paper comes off really easily. I don't have to sit here and struggle with it forever because that's frustrating. You want to get on with crafting. You don't want to fight with your adhesive. All right, I'm gonna pop that on there, and there is a Flamazing tropical card. Now, something else that would make this really fun is giving it some shimmer. So I'm just going to real quick run over there and grab some of my Nouveau sparkle pens, and I'll be back. So Nouveau has their, what do they call them? Their aqua shimmer pens, and they have lots of different colors. So you've got your plain, just plain glitter. You've got gold, which is called Midas Touch. There is the Sunlit Sienna, which is kind of a coppery. They also have a opal color, which I didn't grab, but that one's really pretty. I think we just need some gold flecks because we are loving this golden sunshine or sunset. Actually, I think this one's all used up. We're not going to use that one, actually. Let's use this one. Let's put some coppery sunset flecks on our background. Ooh, it comes out pretty quickly. If you just squeeze a little bit onto your glass mat, it comes out really well. And I like to just pick a little bit up and splatter it on. I'm okay if a little bit gets here or there. I'm mostly trying to get it on our sunshine because it's golden sunset. But it's okay if it gets other places. And that is it. That is our tropical sunset Flamazing card with this month's stamp club. So hopefully you guys enjoyed making this Flamazing card with me. This is the stamp club for this month. Just like all the other stamp clubs, this is available at Tonic Studios. You are able to go over there and grab it if you want to. You can go ahead and check out the stamp club every month. They have a new stamp and die set that coordinates, and you can do so many Flamazing things with. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed making a card with me, and if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Go ahead and share this, leave a comment below if you have a question, or if you just want to say hi. I'd love to see what you guys are up to, and if you make anything with the stamp club, go ahead, post it on social media, tag Tonic Studios, because we always love to see what you're making. So have a great day, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.